Welcome back to Cablevision's Neighborhood Journal, where you're about to see something you've never seen before. It's called green notation, and it's a system for writing music for African percussion instruments. It wasn't started by a historic society or a musical organization. It actually comes from the efforts of one local woman, and Journal recently caught up with her in Uniondale to check out her pioneering methods.
At the Uniondale Public Library, Ms. Doris Green, creator of Green Notation, held a seminar explaining its importance.
Drums it's part of me, I guess because I was born black, it's just there. I always felt that I was somebody special. I used to tell myself, hey, I'm a genius born among fools. So what can I tell you? I always wanted to do something different. From the streets of Brooklyn, my involvement with percussion instruments and being able to write music for those instruments such as bells, or rattles, or drums, clappers, sticks, stones, whatever you have that's used in Africa, and it's not written, and it's disappearing each time the elders die.
While Ms. Green explained the reasoning behind her work, performers demonstrated the notation for the audience.
We're basically here to help Ms. Green do her performance about green notation and express African culture out to everyone.
She pretty much just came to us and started teaching us exactly what it is that she created and just step by step learn every single aspect of it.
Reading dance is a bit difficult because usually someone's teaching it in front of you, and I'm a dance teacher, so it's weird to read it, but that was probably the most difficult part.
Understood as a brand new musical notation, performers had to adjust as it was something completely different.
It's a little more complex because with the different, positioning of the hands and the different symbols for the sticks and where you should plie, releve, all on the whole lab notation and green notation. So it's more complex than just reading music and reading where the staff is and everything like that.
It's not that easy to remember every rhythm, every dance, so to note it down would definitely be the best way for you to keep it in your, so that when someone else goes to read it, they can understand and also do the of what it was or how it should have been.
The difficulty was rhythm, getting the rhythm to be precise. It had to be in a position where it could be applicable to all of the different time signatures. And I first had it just going with common time, and it wasn't working. Because when something wasn't in common time, then I was stuck. So I had to go and do something else to bring it all together. Once I got that, everything else was simple.
Dealing with sexism was motivation enough to develop green notation.
I didn't like the fact that women didn't have opportunities that fellas had just because they were born male. And that aggravated me from the kindergarten. Men wouldn't teach women. When you got a chance to learn, such as when the Africans were here, they wouldn't teach you drumming, they'd rather have you dance. And so I said, now that's not right either. What's to make them think that we're stupid? You can't stop us from hearing. So when they would play something, I said, okay, fine, I got that. My ears are pretty good, and I would come home and practice. Kept on listening and put it together. And I wrote it, and that's it. And I just kept on going.
In order to be a master, you need to understand the foundations of various art. Same thing, like if you need to learn sheet music, you should at least know green notation. Even though I'm good, I can be better. Just leave it at that,
Passing on tradition, sharing culture, and music will continue to be the goals of Doris Green.
Without this, the music of Africa will continue to die and be buried with the holder of it. African music and dance isn't taught in the schools. You have to bring it into the schools. I see green notation as the ultimate. It's the textbook for the entire field. If you want to know how to drum, play any of the African instruments, how to notate it, that's green notation.